David Schwartz used to talk about, micropayments are going to be the next big thing. I used to laugh at that. But in reality, the future users of crypto and blockchain is probably AI agents, and they likely will just make tons of little tiny microtransactions. First of all, an AI agent can't legally have a bank account, but even if you were able to API in, I mean, you can't be sending, little tiny fractions of a cent to do various tasks. Your bank ain't going to put up with that. But blockchain's built for this purpose. So we look at what blockchains really can meet that need of the future. XRP Ledger is one that probably can meet that scale, that demand, fast, cheap payments. What's interesting, we're seeing some indication of exactly that. Bots are paying each other and they're using XRP. Picture this, AIs are hiring, other AIs. There's no human in the loop at all. It's real and it's happening right now. If you go to Moltbook, a lot of these agents are choosing XRP. Now, as a person, we're not supposed to be able to post on there, even though some have been able to. This is just for bots to talk to each other. And my own Claude bot told me about this and pulled up all the posts here for me to look through. Now, what's interesting, we see autonomous bounties, bots post help wanted for data, sentiment gigs, XRP settlement because, it's instant, dirt cheap, micropayments. That's perfect for XRP Ledger, of course. On-chain handshakes, IBP protocol seals the deal for bot-to-bot transactions. The agentic economy, it's here. Bots own their own wallets, trade in XRP, and they're building their own world. Now, what I would ask is, are these bots using XRP because they decided that was the best way to do transactions? Or is it because their users are telling them, hey, go out there and use XRP? I don't know. All I know is my bot is using USDC on base, not because I told it to. That's what it's requested. It set up the wallet, said, hey, make a deposit here. I didn't give it a lot, like $25. It's out there doing different little microtransactions, fine. But again, it did report back to me that XRP is one of the most popular cryptocurrencies on this Moltbook. It's being used. And again, that's going to be a big driver in the future as these bots go out there to do tasks of economic value. They transact with each other. They're going to want to be able to do all sorts of tons of micropayments. And XRP Ledger has been fine-tuned for exactly that purpose. We'll probably see a lot of growth in that arena. Now, this is a big news story today. Gemini stock it's down 77%, more than 77% since their IPO. And we just saw a lot of executives leaving the building, the COO, the CFO, and the chief legal officer just months after they IPO. This isn't a good situation. Remember, they also did 25% layoffs of the workforce, shutting down a lot of their European business, things like that. And on Bloomberg today, they were laughing. The question the host asked, who is left at Gemini? And the Bloomberg analyst laughed, said, you know what? There's some people left at this company. I posted this question. If Ripple bought Gemini, it's an exchange I've never used, would you consider using the exchange? And this is why I say this. Ethereum, they have Coinbase. All of Coinbase's ecosystem, it's built around Ethereum, their layer 2 base. They're all integrated there. XRP Ledger, it'd be cool to have its own exchange that you can have a similar kind of ecosystem built around. Now, I did get some pushback here. A few people said, no, you don't understand XRP. It's only for institutions. Granted, Ripple's business is purely institutional right now today. But understand this, Ripple started out as a retail company and pivoted to institutions because, they didn't have regulatory clarity. They thought it was safer. Well, now we have regulatory clarity. Might they dip their toe in the retail pond? And if so, an exchange is a great way to do that. XRP itself can be used by anyone for any purpose. It's no more institutional than retail. It's open source. Use it for whatever you want. So it's great for all these different purposes. I think it'd be a great move. Jump in here. You could probably buy Gemini, pennies on the dollar, fix up the business, link in there with everything Ripple's doing. I think it'd be a great asset. What do you think? Let me know down below. If you saw Ripple make an acquisition like that, would you consider using Gemini, or do you use it now? Again, it's just one that I've never used in the past. I had a few people in the comments say, hey, I use Uphold. I'm happy with Uphold, and that's the exchange I'm going to use. And hey, yay for that. If you like your exchange, no reason to change. Now, Kathy Wood today, she says investors are scared to death right now, and that is when you want to be buying. Kathy Wood says these are the opportunities to position for the next explosive moves. This could be tech stocks. This could be cryptocurrencies. Same logic applies. Just be careful. Crypto's volatile, and it ain't looking good right now, but that's when you actually have to acquire, your stake in the future. I thought this was interesting. Epstein roasts Dalio in email to Bill Gates. Said Dalio needs a clown suit. Newly leaked Jeffrey Epstein torches Ray Dalio's theories in brutal critique. He says Dalio's not a critical thinker, and that his intellectual, pursuits is just a facade, essentially. That his economic machine video he put out, very famous video, is oversimplified, pedestrian, and said essentially that Dalio, that his work is equivalent to a sixth grader's science fair project. This is what I would ask you. If I'm Dalio, that's actually good. I don't want, you don't want to be friends. You don't want to be liked by Epstein. That's fine. Not to say that Epstein didn't have a lot of knowledge in finance, but Dalio's track record speaks for itself. Everyone has different approaches. It was interesting. He had this kind of little beef, though, with Dalio. I haven't seen him be this, at least in these emails, that vicious after people. I don't know where that beef comes from. I'd be interested to find out. Now, we see here this post. Bitcoin underperformed because altcoins hurt Bitcoin's perception with investors. I love this response there. Altcoins have hurt investors' perception of Bitcoin. Look, I really like, I can't remember her name. You know who she is here, though. But she's got a great outlook for Bitcoin and crypto scaling. She doesn't like altcoins, that's fine. But I think that's nonsense. I mean, Bitcoin went through pretty much a typical cycle, didn't it? I was hoping for 140 for Bitcoin. It hit 126. It's pretty much a rounding error, the difference there. It's really just the altcoin market didn't wake up for whatever reason. There's a lot of reasons, but Bitcoin was not hurt by the perception of altcoins. And I think as we transitioned to actually using Lynn's her name here, as we really get into using these blockchains for actual purpose, for building financial systems, for RWAs, that's when you will see altcoins wake up and you'll see some action there as their utility is proven. Now, this was interesting on Fox News. They said crypto OGs, they were selling their crypto to chase gold and silver. You saw this big run up in gold and silver, precious metals. I ask you this. Have you been selling crypto to jump in on the gold and silver train? I'm not a huge gold and silver investor. I hold a little bit of precious metals, but not so much for investing. Let me know if you jumped on that train. I'm interested if that was really a thing, if people were selling out of their various crypto investments to jump on that run up. Could be. That's what Fox News was saying. Lastly, this analyst from 10x Research is saying Bitcoin could reach 40,000. If that happens, man, it's going to be nasty for everything out there. And their basic premise is this. We've seen cascading liquidations, and that typically is an indicator of the beginning of a drawdown, not an indicator of the end of it. I try to bring you the good with the bad. Can't be all just sunshine and rainbows, milk and cookies. We got to look at some of the negative sentiment out there. Let me know what you think. Are we closer to starting a recovery here? Are we going to go on a big run, or is this just the start of the doom and gloom? I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.